Hi everyone and welcome back to LL Sports TV. Hope you're all doing well. Today on the show I'm joined by my special guest Kenya to my left, and I've also got with me very special guest today.
Yes.
Qualms with the big arms.
I ain't got my top. My top's in the wash after yesterday's game.
I'm dead.
Shout out to Arteta though. But yeah, feeling good.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
Listen, man, there's only one place to start, and what can I say, man? The red half of North London is still buzzing with adrenaline.
Yeah.
Because last night we witnessed arguably Arsenal's best performance under MIKEL Arteta. What do you guys reckon?
100%. I mean, Kenya was there, so you got to tell us what it was like.
A resounding 3-0 win over the Champions League holders, current holders, and 15 times champions, Real Madrid, in the first leg of the quarter-final. And it's only right we should start with Kenya, actually, because she was at the game.
Yes.
So, Kenya, let's start with you. You were fortunate enough to be there.
Yes.
Give us the benefit of experience. Tell us about the atmosphere, the night, what was your special memories of the game?
Look, I'm very blessed to have gone. Very happy to have got. I got a ticket somehow. When I found out we're playing Real Madrid, I said I'm making it there. Best believe. I don't care how I'm getting there. I made it.
Goods.
But I got there early. Got there probably like an hour early or 45 minutes early. The stadium was rocking. Like I could hear the marching as well. I could hear them all the way from the studio. Do you know what I mean? That shows how loud it was.
Yeah.
And in the stadium, pure singing, tifos up. I don't know if you guys saw the Thierry Henry tifo. We had the Make It Happen. Everyone had these little flags and stuff to hold up. Wow. It was incredible.
Talking of that, I mean, Belgium, shout out to Belgium. He rang me up this morning and he said that there was empty bags on the chairs. What was that about?
Yeah, so in the stadium, if you saw at the beginning where it was all red and white. Yeah. So in everyone's section, you basically was given like a red bag or whatever, and you just hold it up to kind of create that. It was like a tifo essentially to make
when
that.
Belgium was explaining, he was saying, "Oh, these red bags on the chair, but nothing in them." So I'm like, "What did you expect? A gift bag?"
It was a freebie.
Yeah. He was asking, "Where's the scarves?" And that I was like, "Yo, man, there's about 60k people."
This is Arsenal we're talking about.
Come on,
what was you expecting?
Exactly.
But
honestly, the game was incredible. Incredible atmosphere. Like you couldn't even hear the Real Madrid fans at all. That's how loud we were. And I think the players, that obviously showed and how they played, they were just so up for it. From moment one, like there was a few nervous moments in the first 10 minutes. After that, we just settled. I even saw Saka at one point. He did some little flick straight into Vinicius.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I was like, he looked like, oh my God.
Gave the ball away.
But after that, we just settled and like we were on fire. Like you could tell they really wanted to win, and we did. It was fantastic. One of the best nights I've had at the Emirates. Probably the best night I've had at the Emirates.
Jealous. I mean, we was at Box Park.
Shout out to Box Park.
Shout out to Eugene and all them, man. Shoreditch was
down in Shoreditch.
Apart from being at the game, obviously that's next level. But being at Box Park was tremendous. That was full.
It was
full of Arsenal fans.
Full to the brim.
The vibe in there was really, really good, right?
Yeah, no, that was fantastic. Like shout out to everyone. Shout out to the team, obviously FTV for having us. It was amazing from start to finish. It was nice being in a different environment as well. But then you just saw as it approached the game time, the fans just came out of everywhere wearing the
singing
stuff,
in there,
singing.
Yeah, man.
Could hear them in the background. So it was incredible.
I think we're back there next week, man. And shout out to my guy Eugene who sorted us out.
100%.
The staff at Box Park made us feel really welcome.
100%.
But Kenya, the first half, I think it's fair to say that the first half, I thought we were the better team.
Yeah.
But you know, we didn't score, and there was one or two people where I was sat. We would say, "Look, man, you know what I mean? It's all right playing well, but we need a goal."
Yeah.
But 57th minute, Saka makes a run down the wing, cuts across. We were saying, shoot. But he draws the foul. We get the free kick. Kenya, tell us what happens next.
Declan Rice. Rice and peas. Jollof rice. Fried rice. I love half price. I love this guy. And when I hear people talk about Caicedo this, Caicedo would never do that.
No.
This guy, he's just... Are we deep in it? We bought him as a 6, played 6, calm. Then Arteta says, you know what? I want you to be a left 8. Never played there before. First season equals Granit Xhaka's best ever season here.
Wow.
Again this season, he's got 15 goals and assists for Arsenal. Steps up in the big moments. I love this guy. He just, what I loved about him, he stood there, and I was like, right. First of all, I was like, you know what, Odegaard, please. I'm tired of Odegaard free kicks straight into the wall every time. And then Deck, he just, you know, as he said in his post-conference, thing, whatever. He said, I looked at that wall and I looked at the keeper's positioning, and Saka told him, just hit it, fam.
Apparently, Odegaard.
Yeah, Odegaard was saying to him, cross it in.
The famous
Lower
chip,
that.
The famous
Rice said, lower that, fam. He just bang. And that free kick, I was like, wow. Like, it felt surreal watching it in real time. It's like,
where we were, I don't know about like you was, when we was at Box Park, there was like a delayed reaction. Because I thought,
it was short.
Has that gone in? And then I saw the net bulge.
We said the net bulge. I've never seen Laurie celebrate like that. I was going back through the pictures and the footage. Laurie's on my back. Shouting.
Listen, bro, I'm a lot older than you, man. So I'm not the most demonstrative,
Listen.
And I kind of keep my emotions in check, when it comes to sports.
But that one there,
when that went in,
yeah.
Seriously, I was jumping.
It was
I was like a little kid.
Yeah,
nah, it was. It literally.
Imagine what I was like.
Yeah.
Some guy next to me, fam, he just
hugging
jumped on
each
me,
other,
hugging me, and that. I was like, yo.
And it's the way, like, the man bent it around. I mean, Roberto Carlos was in the crowd.
He was there.
And that was kind of reminiscent of a couple of his free kicks. Remember that famous one in the world?
Yeah, of course, with the outside of his foot.
Incredible.
It's the technique that Declan uses is crazy.
What a way
like they
to
said,
take the lead
Beckham,
in the game. And you know what else was interesting? When that went in, right, the camera panned to Mbappe and Bellingham, and they were like,
they're like, fair enough.
Fairs, G.
What can you do?
No, but you know what was so significant about that? And I said that on a show I did last night, was that you got to remember, these men are the creme de la creme.
Yeah.
Mbappe, Bellingham, Vinny Jr.,
Rodrigo,
Courtois,
Modric, all of them.
All of these men are top level, so they've seen everything.
Exactly.
They were like that.
They were shocked.
What can you do?
And from that moment, I knew we were going to win.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, I said before in my interview on AFTV, I said I woke up that day like just positive. Like I just had a feeling. I put out a tweet that day saying I have a feeling Declan Rice is going to score. He scored. Not even scored once, scored twice. Bad boy thing.
And the thing is, right? I thought we would win. I predicted 2-1, but I've got to be honest, it was more hope rather than expectation. I thought we could win.
That's fair.
Because listen, man, I mean, going into that game, Real Madrid, they're not invincible. I kept saying to people,
you did say that at the pre-match.
I said that, didn't I? I said they're a very good team. You've got to respect their record in the Champions League, especially 15 times winners and all of that stuff, current holders. But if you look at it this season, they're far from unbeatable. I mean, look, I've got the stats in front of me. This season, they'd already lost 10 times in all comps.
Wow.
AC Milan have beat them. Barcelona have beat them. Okay, Barcelona and Milan, but they'd lost also to Lille. Liverpool beating them. Bilbao beating them. Espanyol beating them.
Valencia.
Real Betis and Valencia
on the weekend.
And they got booed off at the weekend
because
that game against Valencia that they lost, they needed to win that
to keep in touch with
the title. So it's not like it was a throwaway game. We're resting, man. Nah, they wanted to win that game. But to go back to last night, so my man bangs that in the 57th minute. I'm thinking, rah.
Yeah, man.
70th minute, we get another free kick. And arguably, and even better.
I said to my brother, that is top 5 best free kicks ever taken in the Champions League. I said, he said to me, what about Messi versus Liverpool? I said, that's up there. But I said, look at that. He put it right in the corner. When I saw the steal of the ball, that is like the definition of top bins. Like, no keeper is getting close to that.
You could have had 2 keepers.
Exactly. Incredible. I was like, the first one was incredible.
Box Park went crazy the first time. See the second time?
Limbs, absolutely.
Man was diving up the place. Bear was going everywhere.
Oh my gosh,
it was crazy.
But it was incredible. I don't know if you saw in the wall. They even moved, like some of the players, the Arsenal players stood in the wall and they moved to the side. Which was quite interesting to move out of the way of Declan Rice, and then he rifled it in top bins. It was amazing. Amazing, man. I just can't. I'm still in shock. Obviously, my voice is gone, but
same.
Just so happy as an Arsenal fan. Was so happy to do it.
And then if you thought it couldn't get any better, 5 minutes later, 75th minute, MIKEL Moreno, who, let's be honest, up until that point was struggling really to impact the game. I mean, there was even a couple of guys on the stream, and I'm not going to name them, I don't want to embarrass them. They were saying that the manager should take him off.
No, you should say who it is.
And I was saying, then we was like, no, because I don't want to.
Let me find out as successful they're going to be.
You know who they are.
I know who they are.
You know what I mean?
You don't even need to say their name.
I can understand it because they were saying, like, bring on Wanyeri for a bit of extra impetus.
I wanted him on. I wanted him on. I thought it was a time to bring him on, though.
You got to put respect on that man's name, man. He's not the biggest. Well, he's a big lad. He's 6'2", but he's not the strongest.
But it's his technical ability, though.
But you know what he has? Technique and intelligence.
Yeah.
And when that ball came to him in the box, he did what a lot of Arsenal players would never have done, and that's take that on first time. And him doing that, and the connection that he makes, not even Qatar could get near it.
Nah, but you know what really impressed me was the movement. So obviously, Miles Lewis-Skelly, credit to him, put the ball across, and just before he played the ball across, Moreno took about 2 steps, side steps, and then he just timed it and just connected with the ball. Sweet. It was effortless, and you see so many like world-class strikers that will fluff their lines with that, you know, and he does. I don't want to say it because I know a lot of people say he reminds me kind of like a little bit of Berbatov, where he just kind of is gangly, but his technical ability and his IQ, his football IQ is up there, and he's just, you know, we do have to start saying to Arteta and saying, mate, you're a genius, mate.
Yeah, you know what?
Who would have thought? Who would have thought? You know,
because when he got that starting berth, a lot of people was like, "Rah, Moreno, really?" Because let's be honest, when he played in that number 8 role, it's not like he'd been blowing up trees.
Yeah.
Oh no, he was struggling.
So when he got that gig, everyone was like, "Really?" And then he got the 2 goals against Leicester, and people was like, but then even after that, people saying, "Yeah, he got the 2 goals against Leicester."
Yeah,
I'm not sure. But if you look at his goals to game ratio since then, it's very good.
Was it 6 and 10?
Yeah. And he's kind of making Havertz, kind of looking at him.
Havertz is thinking, bloody hell, man, I need to get back because
job, mate.
They're going to forget about me, you know what I mean? But Moreno's he's done so well. I'm really, really impressed with him. Yeah. Really impressed.
He's a guy I've been saying for time. Give him the credit.
Yeah.
He's never played as a striker before. He's never played as a forward player before,
ever. Yeah.
And he's come in, no experience in that role whatsoever, and he's stepped up. We're talking about he scored against Chelsea, Liverpool, Brentford, Leicester, Fulham.
And
who
look
else?
at the type
PSV,
of goals as
Real
well.
Madrid.
Yeah.
I saw a stat. He scored against Real Madrid. That's the team he scored against most in his career.
Wow.
I'm like, show this guy respect. When I was saying to people, you know, he scored a winner at the Bernabeu for Real Sociedad. Yeah, but look what he did. This guy, you know what? You have to big him up because he's been given the hardest challenge. This is this is the most scrutinised position that you can play at Arsenal, and that is a forward player. That is like, you think about some of the incredible forwards we've had: Ian Wright, Thierry Henry. You're now in that role. You must perform. He stepped up.
He has.
I love it.
He has.
I love it. He stepped up.
Enough props. And big up to MIKEL Arteta as well. Man,
got to big him up.
Because, you know, number one for coming with Moreno to play in that position.
Internal solutions.
The tactics last night. Yeah, exactly.
Internal solutions.
The tactics last night were spot on. And I thought, listen, man, they were pretty. I mean, in the second half, they dominated that game.
Yeah.
And once we got the goals, Real Madrid never even looked like getting.
They did have a few chances, like the Mbappe chance where he was through and he tried to Henry it, try and curl it in.
Yeah, that's fair.
And that's the one thing I'll say, obviously, it's just the first half of this leg. They're still going to come at us. They're going to get chances. But I just think that now with that 3-0, the confidence is going to give these players. And then we're kind of going to play. I think you've always mentioned it. We're built to play in the Champions League more than the Premier League.
I've always said that.
Do you know what I mean? In terms of counter-attacking.
If you look at some of our results in the Champions League, look, 7-1 against PSV.
We've peppered some teams this
season. You know what I mean? I think they've only lost to one game, and was that to Milan?
Yeah, Inter
Milan.
So,
and even then, that was a penalty.
Yeah. We've done
the way we play with that kind of control, build up, and stuff like that. I think it does tend to suit the Champions League.
Yeah.
So listen, man, it's great.
Can I just ask you, so to cut you as well, how do you feel we should approach it for next week? Because I'm speaking to a lot of fans and they're like, we should sit back, hold our lead, or we should go out there.
Play your game. And I'll tell you why. Because if you go out of character and just sit back and wait for Real Madrid to attack you, it's going to be a long night. You've got to give them something to think about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You've got to have an outlet. If you just camp, and plus we don't play like that. So to do that in a game like that
for 90 minutes and that.
I think you've got to trust yourself. Play. Obviously, you got to be what I call defensively responsible. Of course, keep the errors down to a minimum.
Yeah.
But at the same time, man, you have to play. I mean, we could go there and get a goal. Kenya, what do you think?
I personally think last night I was like, yeah, park it up, everybody. But I genuinely think that would be bad to do, because if you encourage the likes of Vinicius, Mbappe, Rodrigo, Valverde to be on the ball, to almost be like, right, we're just going to soak up loads of pressure, I think that's a massive mistake, especially considering someone like Kyrgios, right? He's better on the ball than he is off the ball. I feel like he's what I like to call a ball playing centre back. I know that's a bit woke, but like that's just what he is. He likes to have the ball at his feet.
Yeah.
And I think when you've got them three forwards whose ball control is incredible, we saw last night, I saw Mbappe just skip past three players at one point. I was like, oh my God. You see why he's the best in the world. Do you know what I mean? Dropping shoulders.
Thinking it over
exactly.
Odegaard.
Yeah, exactly. Just incredible. So I personally think we should go there. We should try and control possession as much as possible. But as you said, defensively responsible. And our fullbacks, especially last night, showed that they are defensively responsible.
I mean, there will be moments next week when there will have to be a rear guard, what I call rear guard action.
Yeah, of course.
You have to expect that. But they're going to come and they're going to come hard.
They are quality.
Kind of said that in the post-match interview. He said, look, listen, man, if anywhere it can happen,
it can happen. Yeah,
so
they're
we are going to be giving it everything.
Exactly.
And I absolutely understand that. However, I do think that Arsenal have it in them to get the job done. I mean, listen, we would have to concede at least 3 goals. I can't see that base. I mean, this team at the moment, the one thing you can say about Arsenal is,
we don't
if you look at the Premier League, we've only conceded 26 goals all season.
Yeah.
Quite comfortably the best in the Premier League. So defence is a strong part. Now, I know what people are going to say, but there's no Gabriel. And I hear what people said about it. But I thought Kyrgios played well last night. I thought he did well.
He grew into the game. Obviously, he made that first mistake, and I think Mbappe had his tail up after that. But then it was a big shout out to Saliba, because I think because Saliba was so solid, Kyrgios kind of grew through that as well. And he said, you know what, I actually have to step up. I've got to make sure I win my challenges. And then as the game went further on, he was winning the ball back. The crowd were cheering him. He's winning his headers, second balls. So yeah, all round it was good. I just think that Real Madrid are so good, and that's the thing. It doesn't matter what tactics you set. There was a moment where they were dictating the play. Modric was getting on the ball, which is normal. But I just like the fact that we was very compact. It was very difficult to kind of break us down anyways.
And I do fancy us to get a goal in Spain, because I don't think defensively they're the best.
No,
we were saying this on the stream before the game last night. If you look at Madrid, where they're really good is midfield and attack. But defensively, they're not as good as some of the other teams. So I could see us scoring there. And if we do, then they're going to have to score like 4 or 5.
We'll kill it off. I think that'll be a game for a Wanyeri to kind of feature, I reckon. Later on in the game.
Later on in the game, but not as starting. To me, everyone that played last night should be playing again. In my opinion,
absolutely,
100%.
But very quickly, because that's the theme of the show. Was it Arsenal's best ever single performance under Arteta? Qualms?
100%.
What about myself and Kenny were talking before. What about the FA Cup? When we
FA Cup, it was a big moment with the FA Cup. However, it was a thing where I think, I really think that was probably the biggest moment for us. And it was a thing where, even though we hadn't won anything as a trophy, it galvanised the crowd, it galvanised the fans. It was something that was it was a special moment. It was, as we said, an iconic moment for us. A turning point, not just for Arteta, but I think for the whole club. To say, you know what, we are here and we're able to compete with the very best. So I think Arteta will take a lot from it, even though he seemed kind of still rest assured. But I think that was probably his biggest one.
And you make a good point there. What I quite liked about that game yesterday, Ken, come to you in a minute, you were there. What I liked about afterwards is that the players didn't appear to over-celebrate.
You did mention that,
and I thought that was quite poignant. Even Declan Rice, I mean, like, the man scored 2 free kicks in one game. I mean, prior to that, I don't think we'd scored a free kick, and I think something like
2021.
To get 2 in one game like that, and afterwards he seemed to keep his cool. Kenny, you were there. Is that the case? There was no what I call over-celebration.
Yeah, I do agree. I think we were quite composed. I mean, Declan, what I did like though, he stood on the little scoreboard and did little Jude Bellingham thing. Even that was quick. But like you said, at the end of the game, it was like clap the fans down the tunnel. Like we know we got even after the game, Saliba's there saying we know what they can do at the Bernabeu, but we want to go there. We want to be ambitious. We don't just want to stop at 3-0 and park it up. We want to get it over the line and get to the next part of the competition. And yeah, I think, you know, we were very composed. And like you guys said, Real Madrid are Real Madrid. Like, I remember when we were on DR Sports and we were doing a watch along for that City game. And shout out Will, the City fan. He thought they'd beaten Real Madrid in about 5 minutes and scored 2 goals and went through. That goes to show them what they are. So, you know, we were just very composed, locked it off, just very much we want to get through. And to be fair, in the Champions League this season, I feel like we've been like that in every game. Even when we beat PSV 7-1, the tie's dead. But I'm hearing the likes of Raya and Odegaard say, tie's not done. We've got another job to do. We just got to make sure we make it through. So it's just about that level of maturity, and the team have shown that.
It's only half time, but listen, man, that's an amazing performance. And like I said yesterday, that third goal by Moreno could be crucial, because what that does is that gives you that little bit of extra confidence. It gives you that bit of breathing room, if you like, that kind of margin for error. So that if we do concede an early goal, there's still no need to panic. I think. Whereas if it was only 2 or 1, then you're thinking, damn.
Psychologically,
but if we go a goal down in that game, you breathe, relax,
just
keep your concentration, focus, and keep playing.
It's going to be.
And like I said, I don't want to see like
pragmatic,
no block
it
and
up,
just being defensive and negative. You've got to play your game, because if we go out there and score, then it makes it even harder for Madrid.
Yeah, I think I was listening to Modric, and he kind of just said that third goal, he said, he used the word, it killed us. You know, Camavinga getting sent off, I even forgot that he got sent off.
Of course. He would have missed the game.
He was going to miss it anyways, but it's just psychologically, I think they've realised, wow, even though we are Real Madrid, this is a tall order. Oh, man. You know, this is very big.
It's funny you say that, because Carlo Ancelotti at the end of the game, he said we didn't expect this to happen. That goes to show. He himself was like, they were asking him like what went wrong and stuff, and he's like, I don't even know what to say. Like he said,
his eyebrow, that eyebrow was
yo man, tell him blow that.
That eyebrow was disappearing up his head.
Before the game, we saw Raul, and Raul was saying to me 4-0. I said, brother, we have not conceded more than 2 goals in over a year. You're not coming to the Emirates and scoring 4. I said that thing. I said, this you might have done that against Man City. No, we don't do that here. That's our strong point, is defense. That is our thing. That's why we've made it so far. Don't underestimate our defence.
That victory there was for all the haters. Everyone. All the hate-alongs that were doing it. Everyone. They really watched us just to see us crumble. So to see their faces, their reactions, they couldn't believe it. It was the best. It was one of the best feelings ever. So it was just beautiful to share that with everyone.
Concerned, man. The
100%.
Players, the manager,
they've done us proud.
Backroom staff, the fans at the ground. Everybody.
100%.
Everyone played their part. The energy that was there was amazing. But listen, man, that's, as we said earlier, it's only half time. Got the game next week. I mean, even before then, Kenya, we got a small matter. Well, it's not a small matter. We got the league again this Saturday against Brentford. An important game. Obviously, the league is probably not going to happen, but Arsenal still do need to win their remaining games. How do you think we match up against Brentford?
I think rotate. Just win. Just get it over the line. Go to the Bernabeu with even more confidence. What changes would you like to see? You said rotate. Who's coming?
Oh
man, any type of change. The only 3 starters I think should start definitely probably is Saliba, Kirill, and Raya. Just because obviously Saliba, Kirill, we don't have anybody else. Everybody else, it's up for discussion of who you want to start. I don't want to see Rice or Partey. I don't want to see Timber. I don't want to see Saka. If anything, get Saka 10 minutes or 20 minutes at the end of the game. Absolute changes.
I think Saka will get some minutes.
And just give everyone the rest.
Sterling
because
will come in.
Because it was a very
Ben White will come in.
It was a very intense game that game against Real Madrid. So just change, but win.
Saka did come off with a knock, but I haven't heard anything untoward.
Arteta said after the game that it's nothing serious.
It's nothing serious. But I think he done just quickly as well with Saka. Even though he didn't score, he didn't assist, it was just his sheer presence, and he was giving Alaba so much hell.
He was.
So I think if we feature him against Brentford again, you know, he gets a few more minutes under his belt, I think he can do a lot more for our second leg. But I'm kind of with Kenya with get Saliba and Kirill playing together still, so they can kind of build that relationship at centre back, that understanding, you know, between each other, when to cover, who if Kirill goes to Saliba, obviously covers, and vice versa. Like to see Tierney back in, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, Miles Lewis-Skelly done well. Yes, Trossard. But yeah, rest the key guys because they're so crucial. We need them. So now I get it. When Pep used to have these games or Klopp, and they'll be like, "Why is he dropping? Why is he rotating?" He's like, "Yo, I'm thinking about this second leg. You know, this is probably arguably one of our biggest games in the history. Last 10 years of 20 years.
It's the biggest game to have been played at the Emirates for sure.
Yeah.
And when we go to the Bernabeu, that is, if you can get the job done against Real Madrid.
What does that say to everyone else?
Yeah, exactly. That's a statement.
We sent a message. Definitely, we sent a message. But we can't take our foot off the pedal against Brentford. Brentford are a very good team.
Yeah, they are good.
Do you know what I mean?
Although we did beat them in the corresponding fixture, beat them 3-1. That was on New Year's Day.
Yeah. MIKEL Moreno again.
Yeah.
We played away. Jesus scored.
Playing home or away?
Saturday. We're playing at home on Saturday.
Okay. Yeah, we'll win.
Fingers crossed.
I'll be at that game, and I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, because I want to see my man Sterling get some minutes.
Before that, was it that cup that Ghana, Jamaica, whatever? Oh, he's not even going to feature.
No, he won't feature. No, he'll probably be there.
Probably turn up.
So it's still an important game for a lot of players, like your likes of Sterling, Ben White, Trossard. Yeah. People like that who are on the periphery at the moment. Yeah. They'll want to play their way into contention. They'll want to play,
100%.
And like I said, it is a Premier League game that we do need to win. You can't just be like giving up games of thinking too far ahead, because football's all about momentum. You have to ride that wave. You can't turn it on and off like a tap.
No.
You can't say, the focus was 100 for Real Madrid. Let's tone it down. 70 for Brentford, and then go 100. It don't work like that.
No, you raise it.
You have to be fully focused.
You raise it.
Although I do think that there will be changes. But that's part of the course. Kwame, your prediction?
Well, for Brentford.
It's a home game.
Home game. The crowd, the club, everyone is on a high. I'm going for, again, I'll probably do a 3-0 now. I feel like,
I like the freeze.
I like the freeze. I like the freeze, people. But 3-0. It'll be lovely, like you said, to get Sterling on the score sheet, see Wanyeri. A lot of these players are playing for their position. They're dying to play in that second leg. Even though they might not feature, they're dying to feature somewhat in the Champions League. So this might give a lift for the whole squad.
Good point.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm going with a 3-0 clean sheet.
Clean sheet. And Kenya?
Not sure. I'm going to say 3-1. I think just because of the changes we have, and they got the likes of Mbeumo and Wissa back as well, I think they'll probably score. We saw in the reverse fixture they scored first, but I do think we'll win.
I mean, I was tempted to go for a 3-1. I'm going to go 2-1.
2-1.
I think, I do think we'll win. I think there'll be a lot of energy in the crowd. The crowd will want to turn up and,
give them a send-off before they go to Spain.
Thank you and send-off for the Madrid game. And it's important, like I said, once you've got momentum, you don't want to lose it. So the crowd have a job to do
100%.
on Saturday as well. It's like, get behind the team
100%.
and really let's get this thing
done,
done,
right.
man.
He said it. Use the energy.
Let's get it done. I think that's a message. But listen, man, coming to a close.
Yes.
Kwams, big up. Thank you so much
for
for coming in.
Thank
Kwams with the arms. He's back in the building.
That's what you're saying now, Yes, man.
And Kenya, my lovely niece, Kenya, blowing up on YouTube.
Yeah, she's doing well.
She is, isn't
She's doing really well, man. You're natural. Come
Tell
on.
them, respect Declan Rice.
We don't call it keep it in the family for no reason.
Yeah, trust me, man. Natural.
Lyle jeans.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And listen, thanks to you guys for watching.
100%.
Big up yourselves. Thanks for the support. Really appreciate it on LL Sports TV. If you're new to the channel, please like, share and subscribe. And we'll catch you on the next one. We are out.
Peace.